The biggest mistake that you can make when you start a vegetable garden is starting in the wrong spot. That's why in today's video, we're going to go over 10 things that you need to look for before you even plant a single seed so that you get off on the right foot and have a productive garden season. Hey there, it's me from my garden. And in this video, we're going to talk about where to plant your garden. And if you stay till the end, I'll share with you a really cool trick on how to protect your garden from wind. 1. Soil quality. Ideally, you want to have nice fluffy soil that's rich in compost and other organic matter. You want good drainage, and you want it to be slightly acidic. But if you don't have that kind of soil, don't despair. If you have clay soil or rocky soil or poor soil, that's actually not a problem because you can amend your soil and fix it up. So don't worry about that one too much. 2 is sunlight. Plants need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight per day, and most vegetables will do fine with 8 hours or more. Now, it's true that some plants like lettuce and other greens can tolerate shade, but they're going to grow better and taste better with more sun. However, consider that at the hottest times of the year, around the summer solstice, if your garden gets hot afternoon sun, that might not be ideal for all of your crops. Tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants are sun lovers, and they'll love all the heat they can get. But other crops like lettuce, carrots, onions, and potatoes will actually grow better with the heat of the day, somewhat moderated by having a little bit of shade. But let's say you only have an area that gets full sun. Don't despair, because you can add shade cloth, and that will moderate the temperature for your plants. 3. Water access. You want to choose a location that is close to a hose bib or other water source. This doesn't mean you have to use that water source. You may want to collect rainwater or use some other source of irrigation, but you want to have access to water for your plants. It's going to make your job a lot easier. 4. Sunlight exposure. As I mentioned earlier, you want to have an area that gets a good amount of direct sunlight. This is important because you want to maximize the amount of energy that your plants get, so that they grow well and produce lots of food. But you also want to think about how the sunlight moves across your garden throughout the day. In the winter months, the sun is lower in the sky, and in the afternoon, its angle changes quite dramatically. So you may find that you have an area that's in partial shade in the winter. But in the summer, the light hits it differently and it's in full sun. That can be a great place to plant because you're going to get good production out of your crops during the winter, which is often a time when many gardens have slowed down and aren't producing much. 5. Drainage. You want your garden to be in an area that has good drainage. That means that if it rains, the water will move through your soil and not just sit there. If you have heavy clay soil, you may need to amend it with compost or other organic matter to help it drain more quickly. And if you have sandy soil, you may need to add something to it to help it retain moisture. Good drainage is critical to prevent root rot and other problems caused by soggy soil. 6. Flat ground. You want to choose a level spot for your garden because it is going to make your life a lot easier. A level spot means that you won't have to worry about building terraces or other structures to hold back the soil. It also means that you can easily run irrigation, and it makes planting and tending your garden much easier. Plus, it is also going to be safer. because you won't have to worry about erosion or other problems that can occur on slopey terrain. Number 7. Proper airflow. You want to choose a spot with good air circulation. This is going to help prevent diseases from developing on your plants because spores often spread through the air. And good air circulation is also going to help keep pests away. Airflow is also going to affect temperature. It is going to keep your garden from becoming a heat island in the middle of a hot summer day. The breeze is also going to help pollinate your plants, so you want to have good movement of air. One way to improve airflow is to plant the right plants in the right locations. For example, you want to avoid planting tall corn in the middle of your garden because that can block airflow and create problems. No. 8. Proximity. If you have limited space, try to choose a spot that is close to your house or other buildings. And if you don't have a lot of room, you can always grow vertically. Look for an area that gets plenty of direct sunlight and is close to your kitchen. That is going to make harvesting your vegetables easier, and you're going to be more likely to use them if they re close at hand. And also remember to consider proximity from the point of view of your neighbors. You want to make sure that you're not going to be growing anything that is going to bother them. Number 9. Avoid slopes. As I said earlier, slopes can cause erosion and other problems, making it more difficult to maintain your garden. They're also more difficult to irrigate, and they can be dangerous to walk on, especially if they're steep. If you do have a slope, though, there are things that you can do to mitigate these problems. You can build terraces to help hold back the soil, and you can plant along the contours of the hill to help prevent erosion. You can also grow cover crops to help stabilize the soil. But generally, you're going to have better luck if you choose a level spot for your garden. Number 10. Container garden. If you don't have a lot of space, you can always start a container garden. This can be a great option if you live in an apartment or have a small yard. Just make sure that your containers are large enough and that you use high-quality potting mix. Make sure that your pots have drainage holes and that you fertilize regularly. Now, here's a bonus tip that I promised you. If you live in an area that's prone to strong winds, you can actually use the location of your garden to take advantage of a phenomenon called the chimney effect. What happens is when warm air rises from a heated surface like pavement or your house and it pulls cooler air from the surrounding areas. That can create a mini tornado effect that can damage your plants. So what you can do is plant your garden in a way that takes advantage of the rising air. By planting tall, sturdy plants along the edges of your garden, you can actually use the chimney effect to increase airflow and pollinate your plants. Just make sure that you plant the right plants in the right places. For example, you don't want to plant your tomatoes next to your corn because the corn is going to block the airflow and prevent the tomatoes from getting enough carbon dioxide. So those are the 10 things that you should consider when choosing a location for your garden. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every week. And I'd also like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our supporters whose names you can see on the screen right now. I couldn't do this channel without their support, so please join me in thanking them. And thank you for watching. Happy gardening, and I'll see you next time.